Hello
Hey,
and good evening, everyone, and welcome to
the truth
Behind
behind
the
the truth.
Truth,
Woo.
your weekly informative information about what's going on in life, even though you don't pay attention to it.
You pay attention to it, but you just keep scrolling.
Yeah, keep scrolling, keep ignoring it.
Mhm.
What's our title today, Charles?
Keep scrolling.
Listen.
Listen, okay, yeah.
How you doing, Charles?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
Yeah, I came up with the title to call it just listen, because hopefully, maybe to start listening today, and figuring out what's going on, what's not going on, and all that good stuff.
Hopefully,
Because there's a lot to listen for if you're paying attention, to all of the opportunities that are out there to listen to, But
guess what we missed the other night, and I didn't care to even want to watch it. Did you see the roast, Charles? The Kevin Hart
Yeah,
roast?
I've seen it.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
The Kevin Hart
What did you think
roast.
about it?
It had its moments.
What was he roasting, a pig?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
No, they were roasting Kevin Hart.
Oh, were they?
Mm-hmm.
And he took it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Cat Williams showed up.
Who you said showed up, Charles?
Cat Williams.
Oh yeah, Cat Williams did show up.
Oh, his twin.
I mean, it was all right. It's just getting some mixed reviews.
Okay.
Because of its, controversial, comedians that were there who said what they said. I mean, one thing I will want to say this. When it comes down to comedy, I'm not the biggest fan of the art form, because sometimes some comics can go overboard. It can get a little too personal. And I'm the type of one person I'm like, you know what, you can call me a pussy all you want to. I just don't care too much for it. I think words do cut more than a fist.
Yeah.
And but jokes are jokes, but some people can take their jokes way, 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 way too far. And I feel like I saw certain segments of it, that came out through social media. I don't some guy named Tony Hickcliffe. Is that what his name is?
Yeah, he's off the Joe Rogan show.
Oh yeah. He mad all right. But anyway, he had said some stuff about George Floyd that kind of made me kind of like, what the hell was that all about? And then they said something about, I don't know if it was him that said that, Kevin Hart so small that they could lynch him from a bonsai tree.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
That was him too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder who told him he could say all of that and get away with it. But hey, to each his own. If that's funny to you, I'm disturbed by that. If that's funny to you, I'm disturbed by that. But yeah, that's what he told Kevin. Kevin, I mean, he sat there and took it. I mean, but at the end of the day, that
wow.
Damn, instead that George, was looking up. Because of Kevin Hart's success, he's looking up but still can't breathe or something like that.
Ooh,
Okay. Oh yeah, he said all of that.
Well, he said he was promoting free speech.
But I think the only person I will give. Go ahead, Charles.
Oh no! I just said he said he was promoting free speech.
Okay.
That's whatever they want to believe free speech to be. I mean, it comes with consequences, don't it?
Yeah. Well, it ain't free.
I hope it sure does. I mean.
I don't even know what to call it anymore. If you call it free speech or whatever you want to, free to make it sound like, because we were going to talk about what's his name? I didn't want to put his videos up, but the guy that's going on calling everybody NIGGDR.
Mm-hmm. Calling the N word basically.
Yeah. And matter of fact, it's a good segue to go into talking about his jackass. I think, and we've discussed this on the show several times, I think it's disrespectful to go against the grain of what an ethnic group refers to themselves as, and then want to put it up under the lines of free speech. Because whether it's the Jewish community or the slang for the Armenian, the slang for Japanese, Chinese, Latino, and all the list goes on. Every community has a slang, that's associated with it. But I don't think because of the despairing areas that the Black community has experienced in this country, that N word is it's just the lowest form of whatever word it, that can be.
Yeah.
But my thing is that what I would have kind of pushed, back in this battle over that word is that when up until now, we'll get into the voting situations coming up in a minute. But why did we not just vote to have that word taken out of the standard dictionary and erased? You know what I mean? Why didn't we not have it right? Why didn't we band together to have it erased? So therefore, it's not even, and it would be, I guess, contributed as a non-existent word or illegal. If you necessarily would have used it. But for this guy, to be going around and getting likes, and what I'm understanding, he went viral, as doing it. But then that goes to show where the mindset of people are on both perspectives, because he was viral on the Black side as well as he was on the white side, and I'll have to just kind of put this as a paperclip, and not paperclip, but a point in this is that, so you take bullshit like that and goes viral, but you have a fundamentally balanced show that has been available for people for a long period of time, that has been educating people to rise themselves up, whether you Black, white, Asian, whatever the case may be, and then you pay attention to.
Well, that's shock value. That brings shock value.
Right. Well, we said some shocking shit.
But not enough to call somebody N word, or call somebody K word, call somebody F word, call somebody. See, the thing about it is, and I keep telling people who are listening, you can only allow people to get away with as much as they can get away with. I think, to be honest with you, when it boils down to our community, and I saw this on saw it with the Kevin Hart roast, you can sit there and take as much as you can take, but until you drop the hammer on certain things like that won't stop. It will never stop. I'm so tired of us letting people off the handle, or letting people get away off the hook, or letting people get away with certain things, and us not really combating those things like other communities. Now, I just feel like at the end of the day, Chud the Builder and what had happened on Kevin Hart's roast really shows a lot of people, whether you like it or not, how really, when it boils down to it, how we just allow other people other than us to get away with shit. And you would kill other Black folks for just doing the bare minimum. Yeah. I get so tired and I get so aggravated when people will, like you said, would dress up hate speech for the simple fact of it's just free speech. Right. But you wouldn't do that against any other community. But we as Black folks have allowed other communities to disrespect us because we don't know. We at times have disrespected ourselves. And we don't know how to stop disrespecting each other, and not in a way of not calling people out. Right. I'm just saying, when it boils down to the situation within our community, we have to do better within our community. And then on top of that, stand united when other people are disrespecting us. I mean, if it makes sense, it makes sense. I mean, Charles, if you want to go up against that, you can. But I just feel like Black folks, we allow people to say so damn much because we don't know how to keep things within house. Things need to be within house. That's all I want to say.
Well, as you say, there's always a yin and a yang, but I think that when you look at the way the voting rights have been stripped away, Louisiana is a prime example. They are taking away their voting rights, and they distributing the Black community amongst other communities so they have more votes. Well, they say they need at least 80% of the Black voters to turn out. Some parishes out of, I think the guy said one parish had over 140-something thousand eligible people, Black folks to vote, and only 16,000 came out. I mean, something that I'm paraphrasing, but it's like it's not even 20% of the people that can vote, that are registered to vote, even came out to vote against them taking away their rights. Wow. So if you're not going to stand up for yourself and fight back, then I mean, damn, what's the purpose?
And are we too distracted? That's my question. Are we distracted? Are we not really able to call people on their shits because we ain't on our shits. I mean, even with the voting rights situation, we are so concerned about things that are not important to the point that they're not going to stop with just the Voting Rights Act. They're trying to go as far as interracial marriage, as the 14th Amendment. We are so hell-bent about certain agendas that hey, you don't have to like my marriage. You don't have to like who I sleep with, what I wear. But when it boils down to basic rights of just being an individual, individual freedoms, then there's a problem. And it's not about who that person is with or who they're married to or whose body that you're trying to discourage from getting an abortion. Your basic liberties are being eroded. And you're worried about who God that I'm serving, who I'm sleeping with, who is this and who is. I'm just wondering, are we that distracted, Charles? Are we that distracted?
Absolutely, we are. And it dictates from. I know, and some of you guys are probably just gets tired of me, coming back to it. Where is our major information highway or information source? It's this device that we walk around with our pockets, in our pockets, on our hips, on our purses, and whatever the case may be, and we scroll hell pretty much, and if it's something that doesn't grab us from the moment that it hits, it doesn't last. So, clear information is not given, and it's still out there. Something out there. Then it's also within our cultural people groups, we have culturalisms, and I'm gonna create a word,
tribal.
Yeah, well, tribalisms. Yeah. I'm using the term culturalisms because, the Black community as a whole has gone through, I think, I've lived through the time to seeing what I would consider excellence to, I don't know what it is right now, when everything else is celebrated, obscurity, what else is there to do? And if it's not obscurely coming out, and like, us in our production meeting, we were discussing, that rapper that I don't particularly care for at all, and her fiascos with her ex-boyfriend and what's going on. When you got that as a primary source versus which the things that the voting rights being removed, and that is not a precedence. That should be the precedence on every blog, shared link, everything that's on social media level, and it's not. I mean, it literally is not. I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna play one just here for I don't remember her name, but she was addressing the council in her area. But how many people saw this? How many people recognize that? Then there's another one with the young senator in Tennessee and how he is on the battlefield, consistently. And we'll play him in a minute. But how many people are paying attention? How much and these come from Instagram, and Instagram right now is probably next to X is the number one, information highway, at the point, well, yeah, TikTok, I don't know what TikTok is. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. TikTok is like watching TV pretty much, and everybody else is trying to sell something on their videos or whatever. But it's unfortunate, and the thing about it is this is impacting all communities. Where we stand right now in this country with our gas prices, food prices, and it's impacting all of us. Yeah. So it's not a black or white thing when it comes down to the country situation. However, it does become a gender. I'm getting tongue tied on that word, Mandarin, that word I'm trying to say, when it comes down to the voting, typically, especially in the southern states, there. But anyway, let's listen to her real quick, and then just how she take a stand against this whole process that's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But I'm not thankful to be here. I never thought in my lifetime that I'll be standing in a body surrounded by my colleagues who are going to erase the vote of my city and black people in Memphis. My constituents are angry right now. And just 48 hours after this Supreme Court decision, you all decided that you're going to slice black voters in Memphis. I need you to know This will be one of the most racist actions taken in the history of modern history of this legislature that you are participating in this week. Intentionally breaking state law to take my community's vote is downright disgusting and offensive. My grandmother, who's sitting watching me right now, still alive to this day, lived with a moment where she could not vote. And I remember the smile on her face when her grandbaby got elected and made history. And I know some of you sitting in this body actually don't agree with this. I know you don't. But this is an opportunity for you to have some courage. Show some courage. Y'all know this is wrong. You know it. You know it. You don't have to do it. I'm calling on the soul of you to do the right thing. Let's not carve out Memphis because you can't fairly win in the ballot box or to favor one member in this body's path to Congress. If you do this, this is racist in its intent, and there's no reason for us to cut through it. Let's call it what it is. Call it what it is. Show some courage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, nobody, to be honest with you, because he was part of it. But the saddest thing about this situation is the fact that not only did they think that's going to hurt us as Black people, but that's going to hurt them as well.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to still have to figure out how you're going to get those votes, whether we're voting for whoever. How you going to get these people to vote for the person that you would want?
Right.
And it's going to mess up a whole lot of tallying of the votes in whatever district, because at the end of the day, you know, they're making it known that, you know, regardless, they want to dilute the Black vote, but they're gonna not only dilute the Black vote, but they're going to mess up everybody else's vote.
Well, they're going to do their own vote in the process of that, because you still, even if it's the voting process is still going to be the voting process. So you're either going to be voting Republican or Democratic. And it's not going to give more Republican voting unless a person votes for Republican at the end of the day. So that particular is the imbalance that we're thinking that's going to happen. It won't happen. Because what's going to go through that, and then if it does change that, then that's cheating, and then that comes up in a whole other situation. That means that they're stacking ballots and all the other type of things that are going on to make that happen and win. So it is an unfair process, but at the end of the day, when these people go to vote, and hopefully they will go and vote as they should, and not necessarily be deterred by the conversations out there. The conversation out there should be educating you, as I stated before the video came up, about what is going on in the process of trying to strip you from an opportunity. And I like the way she articulated the fact that how her grandmother, you know, was at the opportunity, but, you know, and then now has fallen into a place where what she fought for is just being taken away from her. You know, I mean, at the end of the day. Charles, go ahead.
There's not much you can say behind that. I mean, people aren't fighting back. I think everybody's very discouraged, or were discouraged. Now they're realizing that when they didn't vote back in 2024, that, hey, you basically gave all your rights away. And then they claim, well, we want something for it. You can't complain or have something to say in something you don't participate in. If you don't participate, how do you have a complaint? You know, you have to be a part of the system in order for it to change.
My thing is this: when you sitting on the couch, it's going to give you anything back, any tangibles. Yeah. I think that's the most selfish thing. You know, what really people want to say, Trump got in through he cheated, but he got in through a certain percentage of people, mostly white men voted for him, a percentage of white women, then there was a certain percentage of Black men and Hispanic. But a lot of the people who got him in were the ones that just didn't get up and vote anyway. There was a big percentage of people who just did not get up, and still won't get up. That's why I'm going to keep saying this. And I would love for this to go viral. Keep the gas prices going up. Ray, I'm hoping and I'm praying to the universe and to the Heavenly Father or Heavenly whatever you want to call your God, that those gas prices go all the way up to the roof and it doesn't come down until this fool is out of office. You want to know why? Because it's got to affect the American people. The American people got to suffer. We got to suffer. We got to suffer economically, because what has happened is a lot of people are just getting by not just doing what is necessary to make their lives better and affordable. So we got to suffer.
Right.
Those who don't do nothing and those who do, we got to suffer.
Right.
And I don't wish for this. We didn't have to go do this. We didn't have to go down this route.
Right.
That, you know, I work for a company that does vend grocery stores.
Right.
If the gas go up, that means the prices in everything from grocery to whatever that you need is going to go up. And you know whose fault that's going to be? I hope your neighbor comes and tells you that I am apolitical and I don't believe in politics. You know what you should do? You should punch them in their face. Sorry, I think you should. Because this is the reason why our economy is not affordable. And that we don't have universal health care, because that neighbor ain't doing what he or she needs to be doing, their civic duty. And they are shilling for these billionaires and trillionaires to up our taxes. Yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that. I'm always taking score of what people are saying. And these celebrities who are these dumbass celebrities who want to sit there and tell you should vote this way, you should vote that way, fuck them. They ain't even on, you're not even on their tax anything, on their money level to be even listening to a rich whoever. Because they're getting by on this shit. Right. They know what they're doing. And they are rooting for the Republicans. Those who are believing, those who love greed and love money, right. Y'all, if you listen to them motherfuckers, they're going to have you in the poorhouse. They already got us in the poorhouse right now.
So true.
And we're going to have to go through this. We're going to have to suffer.
Well, that was my post that I put on another page. But it's really good too.
Oh, well, at the end of the day, I mean,
he's going to read a post that I had put. I just shared it on the show's post, so you can go back and reference it or cut and paste it or whatever.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm out of Georgia.
Go ahead, read it.
Yeah, you wrote that.
I wrote this, right.
Glad I'm out of Georgia because the obsession with party over people is bankrupting this country, spiritually and financially. Just stop and look at the reality. From the gas pumps to the way they have redistricted our counties to keep themselves in office. The focus is entirely off the American people. They don't want America first. They want their party to stay in control. It's time to call it what it is. The DJT, which is Donald J. Trump, fails his own words every time he chooses to call people out of their names rather than leading with substance. Meanwhile, we have a Congress and a Senate drastically failing at the decision-making, hiding under his coattails because they are too afraid to challenge him. Well, they rather push in their agenda than actually fight for the people. You can wave the flag, but if you don't have room for your neighbor's perspective or their economic survival, that flag is just a prop. Well, yeah, it's always been a prop. To be honest with you, it's a prop for those who believe that one demographic should rule everything. It's the status quo. And to every party has conservative and liberal value. It's time we stop voting for an engineered agenda and start holding these leaders accountable to the people they've forgotten. Yeah. But the people got to wake up. And I don't really have faith in the American people. I stopped that. You know what, to be honest with you, and this is the truth behind the truth, I don't have faith in our country. I don't have faith in our people. Because if you can allow a con man to be president because you like the entertainment, then I'm sorry, I don't have faith in your vote. I don't have faith in you. And we must make preparations. We must make preparations. Because we don't know where this country is heading. Right. But I hope and pray the American people wake the F up. Or it might have to take us to go through high gas prices. I'm sorry. We might have to go through having food shortages, economy crumbling. We in never last.
The economy's already crumbling.
Oh, it's crumbling. Yeah.
That's been out today.
Iran is, yeah. Well, Iran's going to do what Iran's going to do.
Well, but the whole process is not even. I mean, Iran has just become a backdrop of some systematic problem that we don't have balanced leadership. Then when you don't have balanced leadership, and that's just as the statement that I put out there, we don't have balanced leadership. You don't, because they're not seeking for balance. They're not seeking to support the American people. They're supporting an agenda. And you and I discussed about agenda. People, unfortunately, make decisions, agenda-based decisions, not what's going to be supportive in the community. Hypothetically speaking, a hypothetical truth in what I'm speaking is that if you don't like, if you're a particular person that has had this obsession with gay marriage, okay, hypothetically, or abortions or whatever the case may be, and hey, you go to a symbol of place of worship, and that particular pastor, supports your idea and tells you to vote for that particular idea, no matter who it is, you're an agenda-based voting person. So don't throw out the Christian love and all this other type of stuff when you do that. You in being an agenda voted type of person, you set your own self up for failure, and you don't realize that. Guess what? You're voting based on an agenda. It's that agenda and whatever else they want to add to that agenda. Okay, so think about this, guys. Seriously, think about what you're doing. This is what like the show called. Listen, this is what I'm saying. This is what I just said. Articulated it to you. You can go back and read what was there for yourself, and it's very poignant as to where our thought patterns are as humanity in situations such as they are. We are so distracted as a nation. You got the DJT flying right now on the way to China. Okay, one of his quote unquote worst enemies that he created this panacea around the worst thing about China. But guess what? Now you're going over to say I have dinner in tap wine glasses. Okay, at the end of the day, you're going over there to construct deals.
Well, he is the art of the deal.
Well, I ain't doing that kind of thing. But my point is that you have this erroneous display against the Chinese government and whatever case it be. But yet, here's one of the first trips that you have embarked upon, and it's being everybody's following you over there because they want to see what's going to happen. Of course, for the camera, you're going to smile, smile, smile. What was it in Beyonce's song? Was it in the club? What was it? Pose for the camera, clap, whatever that song was. Give me body. That's what it was. But anyway, and so we guys, this is a ball of confusion. It really is, and then we don't necessarily know where to turn in terms of our self-individualism. Because, as you stated, the gas prices are continuing rising up. I think the last time we had a gas, was it, Charles, was that a gas shortage we had? Probably about 18 years ago, maybe 18?
Yeah, I think it was in the 70s.
No. We had one in the 2000s where, I remember in Georgia that the people were lined up and then, they were lying in line trying to get gas or whatever. I think it was something happened. But we had a gas shortage or whatever the case may be, But but we have not seen anything in terms of this escalated rate, in terms of this. And then last time we got to go. We don't want to keep cycling about this whole situation. Then that man said today, as he was boarding, even to go to Air Force One, he says he didn't care about what the American people were having to sacrifice in the process of that. It wasn't in his scope of things to realize what their economic status is. He said that on camera. Okay, so you DJT people are,
Oh, okay.
Huh?
It was in 2021. They had somebody. There was a pipeline cyber attack.
Oh yeah. Shortage. I know there was a shortage. Something was going on with that.
You know what? Even
But
to
let me
cut
finish
you
my
off,
point. Let me
I
finish
should
my
take
point.
this damn shirt off. I
Let
got
me
this
finish my-
damn shirt on.
Let me finish my point.
This is what you were saying.
Uh,
Shit.
Why?
I got Alabama Roll Tide shit on my
There you
on
go.
me.
It's Reebok.
That was not. That ain't no. What does this say, Charles?
I really
No.
can't read it.
What does it say?
Oh, football? I thought that was Reebok. But anyway,
I got this
yeah,
Alabama
football.
everybody worry about that.
I'm cover this shit up. God damn.
But anyway, so but the thing about it is, like I said, the title of the show is listen to what we're saying. You know what I mean? Listen and share. I mean, those of you that decide to stick with us, silently,
do what you will with the information.
Do
what you will. That's basically what I'm gonna say. Do what you will with the information. But know this: if you don't do what is best for your life and best for your children, and not get your tail up.
The sad part about it is that they think that they are doing that, and they're so sadly deceived about it. And it's right in front of your face. Okay, it can't get any plainer than it. It's like scripture says, it's like beholding your own face in the glass and walking away and forgetting the image that was there.
You don't have to suffer. Go ahead.
I mean, it's sad. It really is. But anyway, we got to move on. So I just wanted to, to also bring up to the point that there are those that are really on the battlefield right now that are standing against this, and we stand alongside of every group throughout the U.S. and bringing voice to their level, because they may see this show or whatever the case may be, and in their area.
But get out and vote.
Well, yeah,
educate yourselves. Educate yourself. Find some curiosity, and also spread the word that everybody needs to get out there and do what is necessary to uphold democracy right now.
Yeah.
Because this is a scary time for a lot of us who believe in this thing called democracy. Now, if you want to sit back and not believe in the system, then I wish you would just leave the country. That would be best for some of us.
Other countries don't want people over there.
Hey.
Let's listen to him.
Right now, my brother, Allison, Lauren are being arrested by the state troopers because they refused to move when Cameron Sexton said so. He cleared the gallery for no clear reason. Even people on the House floor did not understand why. And now all these troopers and folks are actually arresting them and taking them down to booking. I'm going to talk to our Nashville lawyers to see what's supposed to happen. But this is what tyranny does. This is what white supremacy does. This is it trying to force us to capitulate.
Yeah.
And I appreciate y'all not capitulating. And I'm going to take the votes. I'm going to speak up and speak out. But this is the problem with our democracy. This is the problem when white supremacy rules and governs and guides instead of democracy. Okay. Come on. Where are you going? Where in the car?
We're going into the van.
We're going into a van right now.
I love you.
Look at this. Hi, buddy. I love you. You want to give your phone? Or you want to give your Okay. And I got your code. I love you so much. It's all right. It's all right.
Fine.
Okay. Nice, Brody. I love you. Proud of you.
We love you.
Proud of you. Ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
Typically what has just been wiped away with a vote. It's a modern day move of what Dr. King and all of the
Abernathy, Shuttlesworth, Malcolm X, all of these people who have fought and died and bled and organized for us to do better. But like I go back to this Kevin Hart situation, we have people right now who could do better, who have platforms to energize and educate a new generation, but they so busy wanting money. And you have people like that representative down in Tennessee, who's having to fight a good fight.
Right.
And it makes me sometimes it makes me a little resentful that I have to sometimes turn off the television and turn off everything that's social media, because you have the freedom to believe what you want to believe. You have the freedom to do what the heck you want to do. But then freedom comes with a cost too.
Right.
And if you're not wanting to understand what is going on in this society, in this time, then don't feel bad when somebody comes knocking at your door and saying, you're not even supposed to be here. You're not even allowed to stay here. You need to pack up within 15 minutes or else and get the hell out. You can't be mad because that can happen here. It happens everywhere else, but it can happen here because people do not want to know what is going on. They want to play behind Megan Thee Stallion's ass. They want to hide behind the fact that I'm apolitical. They want to hide behind the fact that I work a 9 to 5 and I ain't got time to listen to politics. And then the next thing you know, they out of a job. Why? Why? And you're mad because, I mean, look at your pay stubs. Look at the taxes. Look how much they take out of your pay stub. That's political. But you don't want to know the truth because the truth is what it is. It's all based on politics. And when you're working for a corporation that is putting money behind these in the pockets of these politicians, there's a reason why. There's a reason why they want to cut back on regulations, cut back on benefits, cut back on child care, cut back on certain necessities that we need because you ain't paying a damn attention. You're not paying attention. You're just minding the store, and that's not enough to survive. We as working class people got to realize that we are all we have. Nobody rich is not coming to save you and drop reparations, drop a Trump check, drop any check in your pocket. We got to pay attention, and we got to be curious about the fact that politics plays a role in everything that we are doing, even at this point. I'm done.
Charles?
And not much I can add to that. It is true. Politics is every day, from your stop signs, your stop lights, your seatbelt. It's all politics.
Right. I completely agree. You know, I don't want to dig too much deep into it just because it just opens up more articulation for us. But I do want to mention that this is a show called Listen. All right, I want you guys to listen when I said, okay, you remember that we started last year when this release of a book called Project 2025, okay? And most of Americans, oh, that's not going to happen. This is just propaganda. That's what. Do you understand that this administration is following line by line about this Project 2025? Okay, he just today, before getting ready to go to China, just today, in that book, they talk about the Caucasian race being eliminated, okay, and ways to help prevent them from being eliminated, same way that Hitler did back in Germany, okay, so that quote unquote the white race will be able to continue. So today he is in the process of signing whatever it is, an executive order to allow women and their husbands, their families, to be able to take off and to get pregnant, paying them to get pregnant. He's calling it Trump babies. Trump babies. Okay, just let that marinate just a little bit for you. You know, at the end of the day. You know, and of course it came up a little bit on the View today, and then he didn't mention about, you know, African American people. But the problem is he doesn't want African American people to prosper in having children, or Hispanic community, and whatever the case may be. But little do you know, DJT. Let me put drop a little nugget. This is something else you guys can market the word. What's today? May 12th, 2026. Okay, did I say it on this show? I've said it on many shows before. The entire race of the planet will be mulatto, period. Okay. You can do all this that you want to do. At the end of the day, the races are going to mix. It's inevitable. It's an inevitable part of the DNA. That's a part of the spiritual making of the person who want to be together. And you're not going to be able to do. You may see some surfacing, you know, a few babies pop up. You may get maybe 1,500 babies popping up, whatever it may be. But as time progresses, we won't be here when this happens. But those that, if you took this word and put it in a time box, whatever the case may be, and released it, you know, 80,000 years or 80,000 years down into the future, they can play it back and know exactly what I said. So I'm just saying, all of what's going on, pay attention, listen. Okay, there's more things that are going to be, revealed about Project 2025. All right, and they're working on it. That's the next thing is there. You check it out for yourself. I'm just information highway. You know what? I care to be, in there. All right, we're gonna move on. You guys knew this past week that this particular pastor, if you want to call him that, I have a big problem with that type of stuff nowadays, as it is, because our influential communities where faith should be the leader, it's not leading. Faith is not leading anymore. It's agenda that's leading. Forget faith. Faith is not even important. Faith is not even that. And faith doesn't mean into an allegiance to a denomination. Okay, faith is how our Creator represents themselves in you, and you execute that faith out of yourself. So what's happening right now is not predicated on faith. I don't care what you want to call it, and you can debate me over it all you want to, but it's not that. Okay, you either choose to follow something in that you agree with based on a denominational situation, that black or white, evangelical, non-evangelical, Catholic, Protestant, whatever. That's a choice of how you want to see your level of getting to our Creator. Okay, fine. At the end of the day, make sure you put yourself in check about how you see yourself approaching or looking at the idea that you think that your Creator is saying to you, and not necessarily to humanity. But this is another little point here that where leadership is lacking in understanding the responsibility of where faith should be in a debate that comes up about what I'm just talking about in leadership is. So our little brother Devon here just kind of speaks to it, right point. And the reason I brought up the gold statue, it's very disappointing. Black preacher, very, very, very disappointing. You put up, and then they've got on top of him about it, erecting an idol, a golden idol, and and he wants to justify it and call it that. No, it is what it is, brother. Okay, it may not be a calf, but it's the same symbolization at the end of the day. So don't play people's minds like that. At least those that are educated enough to know what it is and what isn't. All right. But anyway, here's our brother real quick.
Are you willing to follow anyone with a polished delivery and a voice that knows how to reach which you haven't admitted to yourself yet? That should be a concern. And if you are a leader of any faith who doesn't know how to deliver a message without aligning with racial supremacy or political propaganda, you might be the very issue that you claim is going on in other denominations. When it comes to Christianity and Islam, I do not choose sides. I don't proselytize. I'm here to correct something that keeps getting repeated. No matter how confidently it is stated, America was not founded as a Christian country. The Declaration of Independence already told us that. It says all men are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That appeals to the laws of nature and of nature's God. It refers to a supreme judge of the world. Then it mentions divine providence. None of that is tied to Christianity, a church, or any doctrine. What the writers were doing was grounding human rights in something untouchable. If rights came from a king, like other countries, a government can rewrite them. If rights come from something beyond human control, then no ruler gets to edit them. That was the move. And that's why I tell you, you have God, and then you have the system God. God as a source, and then God as justification. But let me give you perspective. Once belief systems move into organized structures, they adopt the same tools as any other institution that wants influence. It's one thing to push an idea, but it's an entirely different thing to build an ecosystem around it, where you have churches partnering with record labels like Reach Records, starting their own clothing brand under the disguise of a church name influenced by a verse that meant expansion, but seems to be pushing hidden political agendas of white supremacy ideologies, all in the name of God. Many people from different races and nationalities hide under the banner of faith to avoid having to answer for their races in bigoted ways. Belief is just a shield, but it is not the standard. And for all of you traveling to wait in line just to hear somebody talk about God, you are not chasing God. You are chasing an emotion you get when you hear somebody speak in conviction about what you already believe. And they know what they're doing to your mind. But whenever you are ruled by greed, you can only worship at the altar of profit.
Well, then that's what everybody else seems to be doing, Those who are very, wanting success, they are doing that these days. But, to be honest with you, religion has kind of geared towards that messaging because it's a capitalistic message that is needed. I feel like it's also an agenda message through the government to keep us working at all times and to keep our heads down at all times. You just put up there, Charles, just because my father invited Epstein to his wedding, attended his birthday parties, flew on his jet, hanged out at his child houses, got massages from the same 17-year-old girl, knew his girlfriend Ghislaine, does not mean they were friends. Whatever, you know what.
Whatever.
You know what? And that's why I keep coming back with, we keep talking about Michael Jackson, but they accuse Michael of so much crap that every time I meet the president, I'm saying to myself, see what it is to have that type of privilege. It's reverse racism when we call it what it is, which is white privilege. But then that is a privilege to get away with what he had just listed. Because anybody he would have been in jail a long time ago. But it's his privilege that has got him from having to go to jail. And I think it's the most saddest thing for anybody to sit there and to make judgment on a dead person who ain't did shit. We know he didn't do shit because he got an FBI file that said he didn't do shit. But you so badly want to put that type of caution over a dead man who has the #1 film globally all over the world. We're gonna close out with him, but I like the fact that even put that on Michael Jackson because he is going to always be the king, whether you like it or not. And for you to call him a pedophile, we already know that you're racist and that you want this black man to have that type of caution shine over his name. But to go back to what I was saying, it's an agenda through the religion to keep us working, to keep our heads down. Because at the end of the day, to be wealthy, and to have that success, it takes luck. Everybody is not going to be ready to understand that. We will have some form of success, but everybody's not going to come into wealth in that way. You have to have some form of luck and some form of connection. Look at all of it, Charles. You're striving to get somewhere in your craft. You've been striving. We've all been striving, but it's going to take luck and freaking connection. It ain't going to take sleepless nights. It ain't going to take all of this rigmarole networking. You can do that for years and still not hit oil or strike oil. I just wish people would understand one shoe don't fit all. Everybody is not going to be ultra successful. And then what is success? Success is not always money. It's about at least having a life that is worth living. That is, to a lot of us, success. Right. But hey, to each his own. Hey, go ahead, Charles.
Hey, quality of life. I always say that's more important. But when I heard a woman say they was telling her that this black lady that Trump is a racist and that he did, she goes, well, I'm a Christian before I'm a black person. And Trump follows God. And I go, wow. Talk about drinking the Kool-Aid. Jeez.
She's the biggest fool. But they all fools like that. They all want to believe. And I go back to 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama. I go back to the fact that how can you want to say that and they can go and dynamite a whole black church?
Yep.
That makes sense. You believe that you are Christian, you are Christian before you black, but they didn't believe that when they threw that dynamite in that church and killed 4 girls, didn't they? What happened to that then? And then on top of that, Dylan Roof, who could go into a church and shoot up a Bible study? Now, what was that type of rhetoric? Where was that? Where was the rhetoric in them being Christian first, then black later? What happened? He didn't think about their religion. He didn't even think about the fact that they were just in there worshiping God. He stayed the whole entire service, and then once the service was over, he shot the hell out of them over the fact that they were black. So that fool who said that, I would have brought up Dylan Roof in the same breath. Now, why did he shoot those black folks in that church like that? Why did he shoot those black Christians? And why weren't they Christians first in his mind? He was a white Christian. Was he Christian in it at all? But at the end of the day, he was in their church.
Okay. Well, some sectors but these behaviors. I mean, they justify these behaviors. And under the line.
Shit. I hate when people say shit like that. I'm so sorry, but my God, that just irked me right now.
Charles, go ahead. Did you have a point to that?
Oh no, I was just listening because I'm with Darlin. I'm not. How do I put this? I'm a spiritual person, not overly spiritual, but I believe that there's an essence that comes from a creator. How that creator and who that creator is and what it does, I leave up to interpretation.
Right.
But my thing is respect how I feel in order to respect how you feel. If I'm going to listen to you, I don't have a problem praying with you when you want to pray, or even hear you, spout the rhetoric. Then give me the same respect and the same understanding. We all aren't the same. As Darlin said earlier, we're not a monolith. Everybody don't think the same, do the same, be the same. We're individuals. And I say this every show, until we start to love each other, we're never going to prosper anywhere.
Absolutely.
Not only love, but respect each other's differences. That would be great.
Yeah,
that would be great,
But
Charles.
see, that will eliminate the political system to the way that it is when you respect each other's differences, because you and I talk about this all the time. I mean, there are people that are conservative in their ideas of conservativeness that necessarily may or may not be a Republican. And then there are liberal people that may not be vocally liberal in terms of everything else. And to say that somebody is Democrat and then they're just all liberal about everything that goes on, that's erroneously wrong. And just to say that somebody is conservative in different areas of their life, that they are completely Republican, they are absolutely wrong. The problem is that we don't have a balance between the two people that respect one another's ideas and opinions, or whatever the case may be. I could say what Charles is conservative on some elements, and then I know some things that Charles is not conservative on, but that doesn't change our relationship. That doesn't have to create this political battle. The political battle comes in is when I'm trying to force Charles to take his liberalism and make it conservative, based on my understanding of it. And place church, whatever, because they want everybody to line up with their idea of what they think is God's supposed to be over somebody else's life. And that's what Javon was talking about. You want to push all of this rhetoric into somebody else's life and call it an agenda, and then hide behind the idea of Christianity. You want to circle up and come up and all this other stuff, but you want to hide behind Christianity at the end of the day, and knowing that it is the premise of the decision making that you do. One of the things I was kind of saying in that post that you read earlier, for me, and I had that post, I posted somebody's perspective, and I'm like, this pseudo friend of mine that's on Facebook and put all this propaganda shit on her particular page, and I wasn't following her one particular time. Now you click one time, all this shit keeps coming up on my page, and I said, I'm like, oh, girl, what are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing? You live right there in Georgia. What are you doing? What are you doing to enlighten the community? You pushing a man up in Washington's agenda, trying to make it fit your community down there, but yet you supposed to love everybody in your community. You supposed to be introduced in a Christian way, girl. You about to say something I shouldn't say. Your mind is wrong. Your mind is wrong. You have been boozled by something that you as an ideology that doesn't work for humanity. It doesn't work. That's why the resistance is there. And it's going to be there until we get to a place, just like you said, just like Charles, until we get together and love one another and respect the people that's standing in front of us. Okay, and not all this other BS. And trying to force you to become something that you're not. Whether you're straight, gay, black, blue, pink, yellow, up, down, in, out, whatever the case may be, you are a person that's been created by our Creator to be that creation, and not a creation to be corrected by another creation, because you didn't create me in the first place. You weren't there when my spermanism came and made up with the egg. You weren't nowhere around. Okay, and my idea of who I was going to be came with that spermanism. Right onto the egg. And it came out the way that it was supposed to come out. Leave me the hell alone and work on yourself at the end of the day. All right, we're going to move on. We're running short of time. So we're going to celebrate Michael again this week. Okay, we're going to take a little vintage roll back in showing you how talented that Michael Jackson was, and so many people missed this opportunity. We think that from the onset of when the album started coming out, but Michael was doing things that were just phenomenal in variety shows, and it shows how all of this just kind of followed him a part of his whole life. And So the Michael movie is being re-released again into the theaters because the demand is so great. You mentioned it the other day. Well, who was it they ran it over? That they
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. It stomped Mortal Kombat, you know, in terms of that. So they're re-releasing it again in the theaters. In
IMAX.
IMAX, you know. So I'm so glad that, you know, that humans, okay, that appreciate Michael Jackson to the way that he is at this point. It's a resurgence. Hey, we have resurrected Michael from the dead at this particular point in time. The only thing is that he can't speak for himself right now at the end of the day, but we have resurrected him from the dead, you know, and allowing what he didn't get at the latter part of his life. Could you imagine if all of this love that he's getting right now could have transcended him during the "this is it" moments, you know, and him realizing that how important he was to humanity, even his voice at that particular, he probably would have still been with us. You know, he probably would have. But then again, the struggles that he was having with sleeping and all that, that's a whole other conversation about that. But at the end of the day, you know, the life was served and it's still being served. There's nobody, no artistic entertainer that is celebrated more than up to this point than Michael Jackson, because you can't go back beyond him at the end of the day. No Taylor Swift, no Beyonce's, no Elvis. Whatever. Elvis. Really? Okay. And then you want to talk about things that were not even true about Michael Jackson, but then, you know, you sweep up under the rug about Elvis marrying Priscilla at what was she, 13?
16, something like that.
16 or whatever the case.
They met when she was younger.
Yeah. So, but you know, he wasn't just touching and going. At that point. But anyway, so as I said, we're going to take this moment to celebrate, and we'll come back and bid you a great evening and all that great stuff. We hope that you are taking it up to this point and listening, as we said about the show tonight, and go back and review. We say it every week. Go back and review that statement that I put out there on the post tonight, and just kind of look at that and think about it. Take a moment to think about where do you fit in the scope of all of this, all right? But here we go. We'll celebrate Michael for a minute.
Forget your troubles, come on, get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day. The sun is shining, come on, get happy. The Lord is waiting to take your hand. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're gonna be going to this promised land. We're heading across the river. Wash your sins away in the tide.
You know,
It's a legend.
yeah, it's a legend. You know, most people don't even realize that Michael Jackson could tap dance. You know, I mean, I look at that and just I'm at a wow factor. You know, I really am. You know, I'm at a wow factor to see such wonderful talent. You know, I really wish that he could have lived. You know, but it he is living. You know, at the end of the day, he's living in our minds and being resurrected all the time. There was this one little quick thing. There was this somebody posted this little boy. It was two posts. There was this little Caucasian boy that was on Instagram. His dad was filming him. He was 3 or 4. They had Thriller playing in the background, and the little boy was facing the camera. He was mocking all of the Thriller moves and had not even really studied the Thriller movie. He saw it one time is what they were saying, and then they either had it playing back, and this little boy was doing all of the Thriller moves, of the video. You know, it's a wonder how you have to say that somebody has to have their spirit just lingers. Okay, and how it set a precedence for generations of people. This little boy, he didn't know who Michael Jackson was. He wasn't even thought of. You know what I'm saying? And his parents, I'm sure his parents weren't that old. You know, his parents are probably maybe younger than 40, and you talk about Thriller being almost 40 years ago. At the end of the day, so it's just an exciting moment, to be able to do this. So we're on board. I'm on board for the celebration to continue, and I want to see much success for the Michael move. Just make the money, because out there and rub every critic that did not like the film, rub it in their nose. Okay, and let's get ready for the second version that's coming out soon. All right, you guys have a great night. Thank you for listening. As we have, titled the show tonight. Listen, okay. Go back and listen. Even the part of what we talked about Michael Jackson. Listen and go back about everything what we said about Javon and our brother in Tennessee and the lady that was speaking to her district about what's going on. It's all impacting all of us. They may be in different regions of this country, but it's still impacting all of us at some point because we're all facing it. And until there's a change in November and a change in November 2 years from now. 2 years from now, we get ready to have 2 years from now. Yeah, okay. Then we really got to be on our points. You may not be a marcher, but you can be a declarer. You can declare your greatness within you from your workplace, from your community of people, and just staying strong in who you are as an individual, not aligning yourself with people. I mean, Black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, Asian, Jew, Gentile, whatever you want to associate yourself. You're not a group, you're a person. All right. Y'all have a powerful night. We love you. We will see you where? Right back here again next week on the what? The truth behind the truth. Listen.